So there we go. Now we can see inside of here. We can throw items in. We have access to all of it. So there we go. Now that's connected. Now I have access to everything. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some more Stoneblock 4. Today, we are going to be upgrading our storage system. That's not to say we won't be using the storage lectern anymore. You know, it's connected to too many different things for it to lose its use just yet. We will also be incorporating applied energistics 2 into this whole ordeal because we need auto-crafting for some things to come. So I wanted to get that started. I also, before that, wanted to get us some wireless power because we've had some power transference issues in the past. So I made a little setup over here with a bunch more of these netherite furnaces, all having lava eggs pumped in instead, each of which is pumping in a total of 400,000 FE total, but I still need a way to transfer power more easily. So we're first going to be starting flux networks. For us to start flux networks in this mod pack is actually very easy. We need to get flux dust, which we can just get at our current world engine upgrade, very easy, with skystone dust and redstone dust in the world engine. Now, fortunately, I started generating some skystone dust with my extractor before. It just needs some skystone and water adjacent to it. I was just got a stick. +1 max health. Really? Really? You're gonna hit me with that? They have the same name. But this one is so much worse. You insult me, game. You insult me greatly. Huh, I scoff at you. We can just go ahead and head on down to the world engine, and we can just go ahead and throw these guys into here, and the power's gone. This is a fine example then. I already immediately know what's going on of my power not generating fast enough. That's what the issue is. Oh, wait. No, it is. It is still there, but it's not going in fast enough. It's a transference issue. Oh, okay. All the more reason for me to do this then, because freaking Flux Networks is ridiculously good when it comes to power transfer. It lets you highly customize it. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that thing to figure itself out. We got ourselves enough flux dust. At least we should have enough for now. So after that, we just need to mix this baby with an Eye of Ender. We're gonna need a better way to get ourselves some blaze soon. I guess this is what we're gonna have to work with. So we will go ahead and have ourselves 2 Eyes of Ender, which gives us enough for 2 flux core sets, which is 8. That is not enough to get started with this, because then we could get ourselves a flux point. We could get 2 flux points, but we don't need the flux point. What we need is a flux plug, which takes 4 of these, but then we also need a flux block, which also took 4 of those. So yeah, we need more blaze rods. There we go. Now we also have ourselves our flux plug and our flux point. Now, the flux plug, what this is gonna do, I can take this over to here. This is where I am generating my power. And then I can go ahead and create a new network. Okay, what do we want to call this one? We're gonna call it Zap Zap, because you're gonna get electrocuted. So we can just go ahead and call it Zap Zap, set to public, because I'm not on a server. Now, I believe there was also a storage thing for this. Yeah, there was. The basic flux storage over here at the Echo of the Catalyst, I think. I can just go ahead and buy one of these. That should be more than fine. Then we could head on home over here and we will see. I'm just gonna stick this right in the middle. It will not have any power going into it, but once we connect it to Zap Zap, look at this. All that power flows right into here. Now, there are upgrades for these, but those guys I can't buy in the store, so, you know. Plus, they're not entirely that worth it when it comes to this, so it's fine. We can just go ahead and throw this guy over here. We can go ahead and take this other Tesseract as well and stick our flux point on here. This is where the power is going to go in. So now it'll send it over here into this basic energy cube, which I'm gonna hope can send the power through well enough. If it can't, then it's dead to me, and I will throw it in the fiery pits after draining it of all of its energy. But that's for later. For right now, though, here we go. We've gotten ourselves more power. I'm gonna need 1 more flux point for my actual machines that I'm getting into today, as now that we have this, it is time for us to start our AE2. And AE2 starts in any good place as any by making ourselves a budding Certus quartz. Now, normally we would find these out in the meteors, but apparently the meteors are a bit different in this mod pack and they aren't actually in there. But we can craft them, luckily, with just a block of amethyst, which are actually very easy for me to get, as there's literally just some all the way over here in this little rainbow area right here. Like, look at this. So let's go ahead and jump these into here, and power appears to be moving strong. Okay, there we go. At least on this end of things. I'll probably know if it isn't when we get to that point, but there we go. Now we've got ourselves our flawless budding Certus quartz. We can go ahead and take these bad boys home. I can stick this over here. This is where I usually keep my random generations of stuff. And then we can just stick one of these on here. And then, I believe it said that the twerk does work in this mode. Because, yeah, we can twerk on this. So there we go. Now we start growing ourselves our Certus quartz. Now, you can see there are different levels of it. This is the top level one right here. I can go ahead and break this, and we get ourselves some Certus quartz. I can break the smaller versions and we get Certus quartz dust. There are ways for me to automate this. Heck, I could probably use the Oritech laser, but I'm not going to be too worried about that right now. Oh, and I can also apparently right-click I can right-click them too and it still works. I don't know what mod does that, but I love it. Now, we are actively going to need some of the quartz dust. So I want a better way to be able to get that than just twerking on these and deciding which ones to pick and which ones not to pick. Fortunately, there is a better way for me to actually start getting these passively, and that is with more extractors. Now, the setup for this isn't that difficult. We just need water somewhere adjacent to this. I actually think it could potentially be next to the water, if I remember correctly. I'm just gonna put it underneath the quartz block. So that way we can then go ahead and have this here, and then we can just go ahead and slap our cherry drawer right here. And then eventually we should get ourselves some of the why can I not say that? Okay, we get ourselves some of our quartz dust. Now that we've gotten these guys though, our next step on our quest line list is, I thought it wanted me to get some charged Certus quartz. Wait, so the quest was to get our budding Certus quartz, and then we'll get the normal Certus quartz, but we have the image of charged Certus quartz, because that makes sense. Okay, but then after that, we actually need a new block. Now, normally what we would do is we would try to get these little casts that help us make different items in the game, and we would need to put them all in a bunch of different machines. But here we have one multi-block that actually combines all of them. So we're gonna need this circuit fabricator, 19 of these blue sheet metals, 3 vibrant quartz glass, and a mysterious cube, which I can buy from the Echo of the Mechanist, so that's fine. To start with the easy one, the vibrant quartz glass is just gonna take some normal quartz glass. So we can just go ahead and make one of these, and then that should be more than enough, as we only need 3, which is just to combine this with our glowstone. The next easiest thing is the sheet metal. It's literally just going to take some plates. Do I have enough plates? Okay, I have some copper plates. Yeah, this isn't anywhere close to enough, but it's at least enough for me to be able to demonstrate the next step in it, which is just to combine the sheet metal with some dye, and then we get ourselves our blue sheet metal. The questline, I believe, said I needed 19. Yeah, I need 19 of this, so that's a bit more than even, but that's fine. The last thing on this list would be the circuit fabricator, which is just 6 iron plates, a copper plate, 2 pistons, and a diamond. All right, this is gonna be the real test if it's gonna take 1,000,000 FE. Let's just go ahead and throw this thing in here. Actually, didn't look at what it was a tick. Oh, it's only 1,000 a tick. All right, so here we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our circuit fabricator. The only thing left that we need to do was to head on over to the Echo of the Mechanist. And where is that mysterious cube? There it is, for only 15 bucks. Now, there doesn't appear to be a way for me to assemble this in a way that it's gonna... Oh, wait, it does show me. So then from the looks of this thing, I'm just gonna go by sheer looks and we're gonna hope for the best. It looks like it's just gonna have this entire back area filled up. That part's just gonna be there. The cube is going to be here, and then this is gonna be here. That is the most I know. So I don't know how it's going to want me to incorporate the glass. So let's see, if I literally just... Oh. Wait, that's interesting. Because that tells me that there is a lot more missing here, because what on earth? So it wants a vibrant glass here. And wait, where's my pickaxe? Okay, I understand how it wants me to build this baby now. So it wants a vibrant glass in these 3 points then. It wants one here, here, and then here. So now we're gonna say that this is ready. If I put this baby here, and then we slap a flux point onto this with zap zap, let's go ahead and see. No. Okay, so I understand what went wrong. This bottom part needs to be empty, and it's back here that needs the quartz glass. So now I can go ahead and throw all of that there, and now it's running. Okay, that is good. So I can go ahead and take these acceleration cards that it gave me, just so we can speed this baby up a little bit. It's not terribly slow, but, you know, it's still not where I would prefer it to be. But there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our printed calculation circuit. The next thing I need is printed silicone, which means I'm gonna need some silicone. How do we get that? Well, that is actually the easiest part of this. We just need to take some of this Certus quartz dust, and then we can smelt. Oh gosh, I appear to have used up all of my fuel in my jumbo furnace. That's another thing that I need auto crafting for. I need to automate furnace stuff. So there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our silicone, which we can go ahead and also throw into this bad boy. And instantly, we get it. And we have the final space for the binding agent, redstone. Okay, I was wondering what that thing was there, but there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our calculation press. Let me just go ahead and throw those guys over to here. Now then, the next things that we're gonna need to be able to continue on all this is to actually start our network more properly. Now, there's a few things that we're gonna need. We would need cables, which are not that hard to get, but we are gonna need something special called flux crystals. For us to get those, we need to throw quartz, redstone, and a charged Certus quartz into some water. Before we can get that, we actually need to figure out how to get charged Certus quartz in the first place, don't we? And there is actually a very easy thing for us to get that. It's simply called, get this, the charger. Who could have guessed it'd be called something like that? It's actually a very easy recipe. It's just some iron and some copper. It's ridiculously easy. So then I could just go ahead and slap this thing up here just for simplicity. And then we can just go ahead and throw a quartz into here. And we get ourselves a charged Certus quartz. We can go ahead and throw another one in here. The speed is highly inconsistent when it comes to these, but at least this way we actually have stuff. Actually, I believe I have some water over here that should work just fine. So yeah, we can just go ahead and throw all that down into there. That should then fuse together, and there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our flux crystals, which there should be more than that. There should be more than that. Where is it? There it is. It followed the current, but there we go. Now we've got ourselves 4 of these flux crystals. Now with the flux crystals, we can go ahead and make ourselves our cables. After, of course, making ourselves some quartz fiber, which is just some glass and some quartz. And then we can go ahead and make ourselves our beautiful cables. I don't know if I'm gonna need more than this, but that should be fine. Now, I've heard that apparently they actually increase the amount of channels in here. Yeah, AE2 channels are set to ×4. So the default for the normal cables is 8, but now it's at 32. So that means I might not actually need to increase my cables at all. Unless I wanted to get smart cables to be able to see what I'm dealing with. I probably don't want to do that. So now it sends us to the next phase in this grand plan, which is the actual storage part in itself. Now, the main thing that we're going to need to start that is the ME controller and the ME drive, both of which, oh, they also use the cables that I just made. I'm going to need a lot more of those, I can already tell. So to start with the drive, because that's the easiest, it's just going to take these cables and some iron ingots and engineering processors, which is just the same process that I showed you before with the silicone stuff, but this time with an engineering circuit, which takes diamond to get. So now we can go ahead and combine these, and there we go. We've gotten ourselves the ME drive. Very simple thing here. The next thing we need is the ME controller. So it's just gonna take some more of this quartz glass, which we can go ahead and grab incredibly easily. More of the cables, we already got those, and an energy processor. Now this one I'm not actually familiar with, because this is not normal AE2. This is applied flux. All I need to do is start off by mixing glowstone with a flux crystal and a giant redstone block. So let's go ahead and throw each of these guys in here, and it should mix all well and nice now. There we go. Let's see. How many do I get from this? If I can actually get the stuff. Okay, I get 2, just like everything else. Okay, cool. So then we should be able to just go ahead and charge this baby, right? And yeah, there we go. Now we got ourselves our charged redstone crystal, which I should just be able to throw into here. And there we go, printed energy. Then I believe I just need to add the redstone binding agent to then just get ourselves our nice pristine energy processor. There we go. So just a quick trip over here to drop all this off. Can I actually use my temporal pouch on this? I think I can. Okay, cool. So there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves the ME controller, which allows us to start all of the... What on earth? The loopy is popping off, I swear. It might be becoming a nuisance now because some of these I don't think I can use. Oh my gosh, but here we go. Now we got ourselves the ME controller, which I can go ahead and just set right here, and our ME drive. So there we go. Now we have this baby, which I can just go ahead and send to these points right here. I might need more of these cables later, but that is fine. So now we just need one last thing, and that is to give this baby some power. Now, there is actually something very special I want to get over at one of the echoes. I think it's the mechanist. Ah, here it is. At the echo of the fabricator, we can go ahead and get ourselves our dense energy cell. What this baby will do is it will actually hold a whole lot of AE2 power for us, which we can just go ahead and slap right over here. Now, here's the moment of truth. Can I connect this baby to this? Okay, I can't. So that means I am still going to need to get myself the energy acceptor then. So yeah, here it is, energy acceptor. For us to make it, we just need 4 iron plates, 4 copper wires, and 4 quartz glass. Very easy. So now I can go ahead and slap this thing here, and then I should be able to accept the energy like this. Yes, we can. There we go. Alrighty. So now power will go out into here, which then gets sent into our dense energy cell, giving this thing power. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, so energy usage is at 10 FE a tick, just as it is being idle. It will start consuming that amount of energy. Alrighty, so now it's all down below underneath this thing, and it should work much, much better. So there we go. Now we have ourselves our basic thing when it comes to this. But if we want to be able to store things inside of this, we need storage cells. For us to get those, it's actually a very simple process. We need a storage component and then this casing around it. Now, the storage components come in a variety of ways. We would need another one of these processors, but this one would take gold. And then for the basic one, we'd surround it in Surge Quartz and then also redstone. To be able to upgrade it from there, though, to higher levels of things, we would need to combine 3 of these with the quartz glass and a calculation processor. That's the one with the quartz that we used before. And then we could just upgrade it. It then goes along basically the same with minor changes in recipe. Like now it doesn't take redstone, it takes glowstone. And then we can upgrade it again. And it's like, it's all incredibly easy. But fortunately, I don't actually need to do any of that at this time. As between, it was either a chest reward or a quest reward. I don't remember what it was. But I actually managed to already get a 64K ME storage component. So I can actually go ahead and already get myself a item storage cell. I just need 1 more quartz glass because this thing is finicky. Now we get ourselves our 64K ME storage component. Now, what this thing does is it has 63 types there and then 65,000 bytes used. This is basically the types of items I can have. I can hold 63 different kinds of items, and then I can hold 65,000 bytes worth of them. I don't know how much of what makes up a byte, but there we go. Now we have all this, but we still need to access it. This is where the final piece of our puzzle comes into play, the terminal. Now, the terminal is not a disease, mind you. It is how we access these things. Now, for this, it's a little bit of things. We need to start off with the illumination panels, which for some reason gives me 3 of. I don't need those because then after that, we could turn it into our terminal. But for that, we just need an annihilation core and a formation core, which are both functionally the same recipe. It's just a difference in if it's Certus quartz or if it's normal quartz with some flux dust and a logic processor, which was the gold one. Then we would need another logic processor to be able to make ourselves the ME terminal. So here we go. We can go ahead and make ourselves our ME terminal, which now allows us to access this little inventory right here. Oh gosh, this is not the style I like. I like it shorter. I like it smaller. There we go. Okay, that should be good enough. So there we go. Now we can see inside of here. We can throw items in. We have access to all of it. You'll notice there's a distinct lack of a crafting table. That is because this is just a normal terminal. This is not a crafting terminal. If we want a crafting terminal, we're gonna need something. Wait, did I? Oh, I already have a calculation processor. Oh, so I don't need to go off and make that. That's good. But we just need a crafting table for this. So then we now have ourselves our crafting terminal. Huh. I expected it to need to go a bit more off screen for that, but there we go. Now we got this and we got the crafting table. That is beautiful. All right, so now we can craft within this thing. We can store items into here. That is beautiful. But there's still one more thing in this before we can make this complete. And that is integrating this with our storage lectern, because like I said at the beginning, I don't want to do away with the storage lectern yet. So the question becomes, how do we connect this baby? This is very simple. We simply need to, oh, it gives me it. We needed this thing, the storage bus, which for me to make it, it looks like it would be just a quartz fiber, 4 iron, and then a formation and annihilation core. I could have easily made this, but okay. So there we go. Now that's connected. Now I have access to everything. And then we can always just search up whatever we want in there. And then I believe this one will... Nope, it keeps. I'm gonna need to fix that because that always annoyed me with this thing is that it keeps... And then there's just E. Why is it always E? E. Why is it always E? Oh my gosh. Okay, but then if I start throwing stuff into here, the question is... Okay, so it seems like it's going to pick and choose then, because I threw a couple things into there, but not everything else went in. That is fine. I can live with that because I already didn't care about where everything was in these chests in the first place, so I'm not gonna sweat that. So here we go. We now have ourselves our applied energetic setup integrated with our Ars Nouveau storage lectern. We've got this thing already and raring, so really the only thing I want to worry about is opening up today's chance cube. Yes, it is that part of the show where I open a chance cube, risking my life for all your entertainment. Let's go ahead and see what happens. What the divine helmet. 4,000 submerged mining speed. This is not a good helmet. Protection 10. I mean, I guess I could put those into enchantment books. I mean, I do have a way to do that, so GG, I guess. Hey, so, before the video ends, it appears I have gotten stuck. I was preparing to tell you all what I did in the last video so you could go check it out, but apparently, some sort of glitch happens and now I'm stuck in the floor. And because I'm in an area with unbreakable stuff, I can't get out. I don't actually know what to do with this. Did you like this video? Good. And be sure to check out our last Stoneblock 4 video where we defeated the mighty Ender Chicken. Bye-bye!